Reddit said, just break up. And OP went, damn, you right? Oh, yeah. Wow. I'm so surprised. Who gave her that idea? This is one of the best revenge stories I think I've ever read.
We will inspect your homes.
Warning. Episodes may contain discussion of potentially triggering subjects. Please see the description for more information.
All right, I think we're gonna do some keyword searches now. It's time for keyword searches, I think. If you would like to choose the next keyword or phrase to find our next post, type the word whole into chat. Sono, what is our next keyword or phrase to find our next post? Can we search grilled cheese? If not, mouse. Well, let's see what we got for grilled cheese. Grilled cheese would so hard right now. This is still grilled cheese. It is incredibly succinct, but I think that the succinctness of the post is why I want to do it. Am I the whole for not letting my boyfriend come on vacation with me because he's a picky eater? My boyfriend has tons of food restrictions and is picky in general. He basically can only eat chicken fingers, grilled cheese, mac and cheese, and pad thai. I've never seen him eat a vegetable. We just started dating a few months ago and I love him, but I eat everything and am very laid back. I know I will have to plan my entire day around finding food he can eat on top of listening to him complain that things aren't the same. Even if a restaurant does have chicken fingers and mac and cheese, it won't be the same as what we get at home, and I just don't want to hear about it while I'm on vacation. Am I the whole? I feel bad. Edit. I am breaking up with him. After seeing a glimpse into my future via your responses, I realized I cannot do this and it will eventually wreck us. Thank you. That's it. That's the whole post. Reddit said, just break up. And OP went, damn, you right? If the decision was that easy, there were other things involved. Maybe. I feel like her frustration isn't the food. Sounds like the burden was on her to find alternatives. Yes. Yes. Literally, she said that it would be, they would have to plan. She would be the one to have to plan their entire day around finding food that he can eat. Even if he was autistic, he is making his management of his autism and dietary restrictions someone else's responsibility, and that's not okay. Why would you leave all of your food decisions to someone else if you're that picky? Yeah, exactly. At that point, you are a man-child that doesn't want a partner. You want a mother, not a mommy, because that implies consent and agreement and communication between the two parties. You want to have a mom, a caretaker. And if that's not something that is agreed upon and communicated about, that is not something that you should force upon your partner. Let's look at some of OP's responses to comments. Can you imagine marrying a man like this? What would the wedding meal look like? Ha ha, I'm here laughing just thinking about it. Ha 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 ha. Groom up there at the big table eating off the kiddie menu. Dino nuggies and chalky milk toast to us, is the OP response. That feels not great. Here's a longer response. Not the whole. Told myself never again with the picky eaters after dating a chicken finger man. Red flag. Somehow it will always be you who is expected to plan the meals too. I understand not liking some things, but unless this is medical/allergies, there's a point where this is just stuck up and annoying as a fully grown man. OP responds, LMAO, honestly, the level of irritation I am experiencing when people on here suggest I should just let him come and listen to his complaints are really making me realize I need to end things. I'm not that bothered by it now, but low-key, I think I would be embarrassed if other people knew he could only eat chicky fingies and chalky milk, and the thought of taking him to an event or a dinner with friends and family and having him eat like a toddler makes me already experience secondhand embarrassment. He literally cannot even eat nice street tacos, only Taco Bell. Infantilizing, diverting. Yeah, she mentions pad thai. Pad thai has vegetables in it. We're only getting one side of the story, but the more I read her responses, the more I'm like, and then another person responds, and then OP responds again. As someone with ARFID, avoidant restrictive food intake disorder, extremely selective eaters and sometimes have little interest in eating foods. I tend to sympathize with picky eaters, but if he will eat Taco Bell but not an actual taco, that sounds more like a stubborn unwillingness to venture out of the narrow comfort zone and less like a disorder. Yeah, Taco Bell is consistent. Street tacos are not. No, this is a response from a different person. OP then responds, yeah, it was really embarrassing how I found that out too. My friend came over and we were thinking about getting dinner. She said, let's order tacos. And my boyfriend was like, oh my God, yes. But when she mentioned a cantina street down the street that has yummy al pastor and great carnitas, my boyfriend shriveled and went, and then I instinctively knew he could only eat Taco Bell. So I felt pressured to cover for him and said, we could always do old-fashioned Taco Bell. And then he got excited again and was going on about Baja Blast. Wait a minute. Did he actually ask you to make all of his decisions for him? Or do you just feel like you have to do that? Because you instinctively knew he could only eat Taco Bell and felt pressured to cover for him. Who was pressuring you in this situation? Your own embarrassment? You're embarrassed by having a partner that is a little bit of a picky eater. You're embarrassed to have a partner that prefers consistency over trying something new. The idea of, but what will people think, grow a spine? Yeah, exactly. She's leaving the not actual choice to him. Her pride is more important than her partner. Glad they broke up. Yeah. He says he was never fed other things growing up, and now he can't stand the taste of regular food. He really only likes processed food. Is pad thai processed? I feel like OP didn't make a real effort with her boyfriend. Nope. Yeah, it sounds like consistency is what he wants. He doesn't like things to change in his food. No effort was made to communicate issues all along the way. Exactly. Yes, 100%. I think OP is an asshole. From the tone of all the responses, asshole. No communication. It feels like there was no even attempt at communicating. He was a picky eater. She said, I'm breaking up with you because I want to go on a vacation and eat whatever I want. Which, like, yes, absolutely, you can do that. But if you did actually love him, like you said in your post, you would talk about it. You would have a conversation. You would collaboratively problem solve to find solutions. You were afraid he was going to make you look bad in front of people. You were too embarrassed about someone else's dietary restrictions, dietary preferences, and that's it. Yeah, no. I think she's an asshole. Am I the hole for leaving my boyfriend at the airport after he pranked the TSA with a dildo? Prank and TSA are two words that should never go together. Real. Hey everyone, I'm 20 female. Really need some outside perspective on whether I was too harsh on my boyfriend, 29 male. Not the asshole. Done. OP is 20 years old. The boyfriend is 29. I really need some outside perspective on whether I was too harsh on my boyfriend because of a recent incident. My boyfriend loves practical jokes, and while some are genuinely funny, others can be a bit much. For example, he once switched all my skincare products with mayonnaise. No. Skincare products are so expensive. That stuff is so expensive. And another time, he filled my car with balloons. It's usually all in good fun, but sometimes it goes a bit far. We planned an amazing vacation to the Caribbean, something I have been looking forward to for months. Everything was going smoothly until we got to the airport. Right before going through airport security, my boyfriend thought it would be hilarious to pull another prank. This time, he decided to stuff a dildo down his own pants to make it look like he was unusually well endowed. Oh, okay. As you can imagine, the security scanners picked up something odd and he was pulled aside for a pat down. The TSA agents asked him if he was carrying anything he shouldn't be, and he yelled out, "I have a big piece and I'm gonna use it. I have a big piece and I'm gonna use it." This guy's dumb as fuck. He yelled out, "I have a big piece and I'm gonna use it," in what I guess he thought was a funny tone. Literally everybody turned and looked at us, and it was so awkward. A couple other TSA guys ran towards him. Then he pulled out the dildo and proudly announced, "That's my big piece." TSA didn't find it funny. Both of us were taken to a back room and interrogated for over an hour, which led to us missing our flight. The agents weren't amused, and they gave us a stern lecture on security and appropriateness. I was so upset and embarrassed by the whole ordeal, I decided I couldn't handle going on vacation anymore. So instead of waiting for the next available flight, I just went home. My boyfriend was annoyed and said I was overreacting since it was just a joke and that we could just catch another flight. However, I felt like the prank crossed a line, especially considering the setting and the stress that it caused. So Reddit, am I the hole for deciding to go home and miss out on our vacation because I couldn't deal with another potential joke or embarrassment? Let me know what you think. Interrogated by TSA. Your BF sounds like a 16-year-old. Thank you. Yup. She's underreacting? Yeah, absolutely. If I did that at 16 years old, my parents would have killed me if TSA didn't first. Right. How do you get interrogated and still go, well, it was just a joke? You had to sit an hour there in your brain and feel anything besides childish. Yeah, no, not the asshole. Leaving him at the airport, leaving him behind at the airport was the least you should do. Break up with him. Move out. Pack all your shit, actually. Well, yeah, he was incredibly off base. That's putting it extraordinarily lightly. Okay, I'm gonna read this one slowly because I am assuming you will have the same reaction that I did when I pulled this up. Am I the hole for telling my daughter that her mom cheated on me when my daughter said my new girlfriend looks like an OnlyFans chick? Throwaway account and fake names. I, 49 male, got divorced from my wife Emily, 49 female, because she cheated on me with multiple men. We have a son and a daughter. Our son, Nick, 22 male, has always been closer to his mom, and our daughter, Skylar, 19 female, has always been closer to me. Not knowing why we got divorced, the kids took their mom's side. I recently started dating Lisa, 54 female. She has a fun personality. She's smoking hot. She dresses very fun. When I introduced Lisa to my kids, Nick took a liking to her while Skylar looked annoyed. Days later, Skylar said that Lisa looks like an OnlyFans chick. If you knew Skylar, you would be shocked that she would use that way to insult another woman. I told her that her mom, Emily, was the one who cheated on me and that I met Lisa after the divorce. Skylar just said, "Oh," and got quiet. But the next day, my ex-wife Emily confronted me. I reminded her that I never promised to keep her cheating a secret. She said that I implied that it would be secret based on the fact that I never said whether or not I would tell our kids. How dare you tell our children the truth? That you cheated on me multiple times? Yeah, the kids are adults. The kids are literally adults. Fuck around, find out. You literally fucked around and now you are finding out. There's an edit. Something of an update since I posted. Even though my daughter is in her bedroom in my house, I messaged her because she said she doesn't want to see anyone. She sent me a very, very long message she had written beforehand. In the message, my daughter admitted that her mom and her maternal aunt said those kinds of things about Lisa. She said she's embarrassed that she repeated those awful things. See, she said she thought that I was the one who cheated on her mom. Oh yeah. Wow. I'm so surprised. Who gave her that idea? She said she thought I had cheated on her mom with Lisa. She said she's not mad at me. She said she's mad at her mom. She said Lisa seems like a wonderful woman. She said she wants to talk about this face to face, but not anytime soon. She said she'll tell me when she's up to talking about it face to face, when she thinks she can do it without crying. Good. I feel like this was handled very well. Yeah. I think this was handled very well on Dad's part. Good for you. And now this one will probably just make me mad. Oh, it's not very long. Okay. All right. New Dickie going live. Am I the hole for canceling financial support for my son's wedding after his fiance catfished him to, quote, test his loyalty? Okay. My son, 23, got engaged a few months ago. Recently, he admitted to me that he had been texting with a girl he met on Tinder. That alone already shocked me. He's engaged. That's obviously not acceptable behavior. But here's the twist. The girl on Tinder was actually his fiance. She made a fake account to test whether he would stay loyal. And when he flirted back, she confronted him. Yes, what my son did was messed up, but creating a whole fake profile to trap your partner, that's manipulation. If you have to run string operations to trust your fiance, maybe you shouldn't be getting married. After learning this, I told my son I wouldn't be paying for the wedding anymore. I don't want to support a marriage that already starts with lies and games from both sides. Some people in the family say that I'm overreacting and punishing both of them. What's your opinion? It's your fucking money. You do whatever you want with it. Yeah, they both suck, and I don't think that you should. I personally don't think you should get married. I think you both suck, and maybe you should introspect a little bit and think about what you're doing. Yeah, you're not the asshole for pulling money out of a predetermined to fail marriage. Like, if I knew about all of this going into it, I'd be like, I'm fucking paying for that. Y'all gonna be divorced in a couple months. What do you mean? I tell them if they still want to get married, go to the city hall and get married by a judge. Real. Yeah. Pay for therapy instead of a wedding. Real. Yes. That part. 100%. We're choosing a winner in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Beefcake.
Beefcake Emperor, what is our next keyword or phrase? Feeling froggy. Let's try sorbet. It's a food post. Food posts usually get us something good. Oh, a spicy sorbet post? What? Will I be the hole if I told people the vegan sorbet we sell at my job isn't actually vegan? Okay. Look, I consider myself a generally nice person. I care about people, and the biggest reason I love working in culinary is I love making people happy with food. I recently found out that the sorbet we make and offer to people who are vegan or dairy or gluten-free isn't actually vegan. The stabilizer we add contains whey. So now I feel so horrible about having served so many people telling them that it's vegan when it isn't. But I feel like I'm not in a position to tell our customers the truth, and now I don't know what to do. In addition, the sugar we use for all the vegan things isn't vegan either. It's just the normal sugar we use for everything. Oh, whey is the liquid remaining after milk has been curdled and strained. It is a byproduct of manufacturing of cheese or casein and has several commercial uses. I didn't know that. I thought it was from wheat. I found out just yesterday about the stabilizer, and I'm honestly so upset with myself I didn't know. Should I say something to my boss, because I don't feel comfortable lying to the customers, but I also would be really scared to go rogue and tell them the truth and potentially get in trouble with my boss. Edit update. We are trying a different brand of stabilizer that is actually vegan and making sure that it freezes properly and doesn't separate, which happens to sorbet a lot. Hopefully, all of the sorbets will be changed and the fully vegan as soon as possible. Granulated or white sugar comes from the stalks of sugarcane, which makes it vegetarian. But the mixing of this processed sugar with animal bone char to give a perfect white color changes the entire game, which is why vegans around the world consider refined sugar to be a non-vegan food product. Interesting. I had no idea. They literally polish your sugar with animal bone. Just give me raw sugar, dude. Everything must be white. And I oop. Yeah, so we're gonna go not the hole. What else we have posted on the subreddit? What? Am I the hole for blowing up at my sister for naming her daughter after a fungal infection? Who's my good little yeast infection? Who's a good little yeast infection?
No!
So my 20 male sister, 27 female, and her husband had been struggling a lot with baby names. She was determined to find the single perfect name. Even by the time of her baby shower, nearly 5 weeks before the due date, she didn't seem any closer to picking something out than she was at the start of her pregnancy. Anyway, I knew she was struggling, so in the addition to the $900 wooden crib on her list that I got for her, I gave her a list of obviously joke baby names. We have a really close relationship, and it was in line with both of our senses of humor. She's a nurse, and I'm a biology student, so all the names were medications, infections, unpleasant animals, etc. All sound like lovely girls' names out of context. Some of them were a little bit obscure, sure, but I included some obvious ones like Viagra and hernia for good measure. 2 weeks later, she told me she and her husband had finally settled on a name. I'm going to utilize Google pronunciation for this.
Malassezia. Malassezia.
Malassezia, short for Malassezia folliculitis, happens when too much Malassezia yeast grows on the skin and infects the hair follicles. Malassezia. The baby's name is Malassezia, one of the names on my joke list. Outside of the immediate issues, nearly impossible to pronounce on the first try, the ass, smack dab in the middle of it, the first syllable being mal, literally meaning bad or evil. It's also the name of a very common fungal infection, one that my sister and I are both genetically predisposed to, one that we've both had multiple times throughout our lives. Her daughter will almost certainly catch it at some time. I pointed it out to her. She said that yes, she knew what it meant. She knew my list was intended to be a joke, but she just really liked the way it sounded. I don't think the husband knows what it means. I think he'd reject it if he did. She says that it's so obscure that no one will ever think twice about it, except, you know, when little baby Malassezia turns 14, finds a weird spot on her neck, and goes on her phone to Google what it is. I told her that the name was completely unacceptable, and I was shocked that she chose it. I even suggested some similar names like Mallory, Azalea, Anastasia that would be more acceptable, but she wouldn't hear it. She said that since I'm not one of the parents, I have no business telling her what she can and cannot name her child, and that I'm stepping way out of line. I think it's pregnancy hormones, and she'll regret the decision very soon after her daughter is born. Malassezia. You named your daughter after a yeast infection you had. Malassezia. Every doctor's office and hospital will know, let alone all the bullying from just being weird. That's actually cruel, right? It's so bad. You're not the asshole for blowing up on your sister for naming her daughter after a yeast infection that she literally had. Here we go. Was my cousin the a-hole for how she handled her bridesmaid announcing she's engaged. Preemptive someone's wedding is not about your engagement / baby. Right. The title, which was added by someone on the Hole Inspector subreddit, was my cousin the a-hole for how she handled her bridesmaid announcing she's engaged, comes to us from a post on Petty Revenge, cross-posted to Pro Revenge, then cross-posted to Hole Inspector, and that's how we got here. Last summer, I was at a cousin's wedding. His bride and her family had been close with ours since before I was born, and the couple had known each other since they were toddlers, so it was a particularly exciting event for both sides of the family. After the ceremony was over and the party had only just started, one of the bridesmaids decides to announce her own engagement. The attention was immediately taken away from the newlyweds and brought to the bridesmaid, who I'll call Sarah, and her equally smug fiance. My cousin's wife, I'll call her Emma, didn't make a scene or utter a single negative word about Sarah. She looked like she was on the verge of tears, but she kept grinning and acted very happy for the other couple. This was unusual, as Emma is typically quite confrontational and speaks her mind no matter the consequences. Oh, you can tell she's already cooking. You can tell she's already cooking. The second she stood up and was like, hey, I'm getting engaged, she was like, so it's come to this. So it's come to this then. You would betray me on this? The day of my own wedding? Well, then, Sarah, then the game is afoot. And I shall deliver a method of revenge that will be talked about for generations. You may not know fear now, but rest assured, you will know its cold, wet embrace. Sarah later picked Emma to be the maid of honor at her own wedding, which took place last weekend. I wasn't there for it, but my cousin sent me some of the best bits on Snapchat and explained the whole situation. This is where the fun begins. That they literally say that in the post. Quote, this is where the fun begins. Emma's two much younger sisters were the flower girls at Sarah's wedding. At the last very moment, Emma switched out the white petals in their baskets to blue ones she had secretly brought with her. She told her sisters not to say anything about it or let the bride see them until it was time to scatter them down the aisle. Sarah looked very confused upon seeing the blue petals, which didn't coordinate whatsoever with her theme, but of course she didn't say anything about it in the moment. Most of Sarah's other bridesmaids were also Emma's friends that had attended Emma's wedding and were in on Emma's scheme. At the reception, Emma's sisters and the other bridesmaids were tight-lipped when Sarah began demanding to know why there were blue petals. The wedding planner ended up getting a lot of abuse for not checking the flower girls' baskets before they walked down the aisle. Finally, it was time for the speeches. The speeches took place in front of a massive screen displaying a loop of photos with Sarah and her husband, which had been compiled by Emma. Very good. Very good. This is gonna be fucking beautiful. Emma took the remote that controlled the presentation screen, and at first she showed some pre-approved humorous photos of Sarah with Emma and other friends to facilitate a couple lighthearted jokes. Then at the very end, Emma said to Sarah that she was wondering why there were blue petals instead of the white ones originally planned. That was when Emma displayed the last slide of her presentation. Emma announced in front of everyone that she was 5 months pregnant and that she just discovered the baby was a boy. Hence the blue petals. The last slide, her ultrasound picture. She left her wedding and said to her new hubby, "Do not wrap it. I'm cooking something big." This is one of the best revenge stories I think I've ever read. There were shocked yells and gasps. Sarah had a fit, but those involved in the scheme cheered so loudly that I sincerely regret watching the Snapchat recordings with headphones. Apparently, Sarah had been very nasty to her bridesmaids before, driving several of them away and forcing the others to pay ridiculous amounts of money for dresses. Emma and my cousin were eventually thrown out of the party, but they were all smiles. Sarah's fuming mother went to confront her outside, and Emma retorted with, "Gentle, gentle, I'm pregnant." The top comment is, "And then at Emma's baby shower, Sarah flaunts that she's dying. And at Sarah's funeral, Emma announces she killed her. And at Emma's trial, Sarah comes back as a zombie." Hell yeah. I think everyone sucks here. I think everyone sucks here. But also that was epic as hell. Everyone sucks here, but it was entertaining as hell, for sure. Oh, that was so good. No coming, only going. That is the mindset that I have, and that is why I am more stronger than every of the other beta males. Listen to me and buy my podcast time so that you can unlock the secrets of how to be a real man. Butthole explosion. I missed his butthole because I'm so straight.